And what's good? How y'all doing? Good morning. This is your college football show, man. College show in the morning, man. Here with your host again, aka Coach Dante. Got my boy to the right over here, my guy Martin Wyatt and Wire Sports, and got the big dog down here, my guy Big AC right there. How we doing, Martin? Tell them how about them Canes, man.
Man, look at here. I'll bounce back like an OG, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good, man. I did my live show last night with the guy that always be on there with me. We were just talking. I mean, I think going into the season, I felt a whole different vibe from them, you know, especially with recruiting, transfer portal, and knowing Mario, his track record, you know, when he went to Oregon, you know, it only took him 2 years, you know, and I knew that he get the right people under his belt the way he need to. Miami was going to be in a good position. Rather, I didn't say they go out and win the ACC championship game or good in the playoffs. All I said was, you know, I expect 9 wins. I think this team is that talented. And from what I have seen from the first 3 games, they got something special right now.
Gotcha. AC, what's good, man? How you doing?
Hey, man. Welcome back for myself. I mean, appreciate y'all having me back. I'll be tough on Saturdays for me, man. Out here on the West Coast because we got Friday night football. And we played on Thursday night this week. So I had this morning off. So I reached out to Big N, Coach Dante, Coach Martin. I'll call everybody Coach, man. Don't worry about it. But yeah, man, it's good to be in there in the mix. Talk some college football this morning. Let's go. Let's get it cracking.
Yeah. Also, shout out to my Longhorns, man. UT, we got that big win over Bama, man. So hopefully it's a bad net this coming today against Wyoming today. So we got the first topic of the day, AC. I'm gonna start with you, man. So we got a benching for Alabama. Jalen Milroe gets benched from Tyler Buckner, man. So after the game he had versus Texas, we know Jalen Milroe struggled last year versus A&M. He gets his opportunity against Middle Tennessee State. He scored by how many touchdowns? About 5 touchdowns. He was the second coming of Lamar Jackson right up after that game, and all of a sudden, what happens? He plays a very good Longhorns team. He gets brought back to earth. So, is the bench? Are you okay with the benching of Jalen Milroe, or do you think he should have got another shot? Well, tell me about it, AC.
It's a business, man.
Okay.
And it's what have you done for me lately? So, in this business, you're gonna have to have tough skin and understand the big picture. I mean, we're seeing so much movement with kids, and they still get that one free transfer without a penalty. And once Saban sees what he needs to see, I mean, we saw it all unfold with Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. It's just the immediate future. Who fits what we do right now? What we got? We can't wait. So, am I okay with it? I ain't got nothing. I can't say I'm not okay with it. This is Nick Saban. They already got a loss to your UT Texas Longhorns, and if you can't win, like it's all about winning. Even when Jalen Hurts and them won the national championship, he didn't throw the ball all that well that year, but he led. So if the team can vibe with that quarterback and win, Nick Saban's gonna ride with you. You guys lose this early, and we were supposed to win. He got to blame somebody. So that's what that happens. I can't say I'm not okay with it. I ain't running that ship. If I was a head coach, I might give him a little bit more time. But Nick Saban is Nick Saban, and he got big money boosters on his head. Coach, we put all this money into your bank account, and we want wins. Well, I'm making a quarterback change. That buys you a few more weeks. So, it is what it is. It's a tough business. Milroe might have to look at that portal, man. It's a tough business, man.
Martin?
Man. AC said everything that I could really say because it is a business. And AC pointed right back to the Jalen Hurts situation. Now, it made Jalen Hurts better because when it got him in the position where he at now. So Nick Saban knows what needs to be done if he wants to continue to keep winning. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, if you look at the landscape of college football, it's changing quickly. You still got Georgia up there. You got a Florida State team that's getting better year in and year out. You got Ohio State still there. You got Michigan still there. You don't know what Texas is going to be once they get in the SEC and Oklahoma. So that's another challenge present to itself. And then you got Miami, starting to seem like they're trying to find themselves now. So, and then you got Deion up there in Colorado. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, man. And Nick Saban knows that him, and I look at Dabo too, with Clemson. They look like they taking a serious step back right now from last year to this year. So Nick knows that, hey, he going to have to shake up something because AC alluded to them boosters in his ear. He got his coaches podcast show that he do every week. And he know the noise is out there. They had when they didn't they got knocked out of the championship a couple years ago. They was calling for Nick Saban head. Who you think might be knocking on that door if they get tired of Nick Saban? If Nick Saban don't make the playoffs this year and they don't make it next year, who you think might be the first name they're gonna call? Prime time. I'm trying to tell you, this stuff is serious out here, man. I've been having this conversation at work. I looked at Alabama with Nick Saban. I looked at Clemson with Dabo. If they see Deion make 9 games or get at least sniff close to the Pac-12 championship, there's gonna be some serious discussion in the offseason about who they want. Deion said himself that he not going to the NFL, but that's a different topic for a different day. But going back to Nick Saban, Alabama, if this does not work out with this switch, then we're gonna have another discussion for something else. What is really going on in Alabama? Because you got to think, some of the guys has already been jumping to the transfer portal. Miami already got 2 of them, one on offense, one on defense. You think more guys ain't going to leave if they see other colleges starting to come up on a rise and start winning? Nick, hey, ain't the same college football like you used to, Nick. So now is never.
So again, how would this move, Martin, you think will impact Alabama by Tyler Butler getting put in the starting lineup? Because Tyler Butler came from the transfer portal because Nick Saban didn't like the spring game. The spring game was pretty bad, and he wasn't satisfied with his quarterback situation over there. So that's when he went out, got Tyler Butler out of the transfer portal. So how do you feel like it will affect Alabama going down the road this season?
The thing about it is the funny thing is you got a quarterback, you got a transfer portal, and you pretty much switch, because you lost which I picked Texas to beat Alabama anyway because I really don't like Alabama. So I think that if this does not work out, you could see them losing a couple more games, and then what he's going to do, he's going to have to either go back to the other guy or ride this guy all the way out, and then while being second guessed to say, hey, I thought this was going to work this way. Because now if the guy comes in, they play UCF today, a game we think they should win, but it's any given Saturday. Anything can happen. Nick Saban go out and lose this game after making this switch. Man, look at here. Everybody might want to turn their TV off at the end of the day. But I'm thinking if he comes out and win, I think it would be all right. But it has to be a week-to-week evaluation to see what happens. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say, well, he's the guy now, because you don't know what can happen. You're going to start playing teams in your conference soon. And that's where the real test is going to start coming at.
Got you. Coach AC.
Man, I'm looking at the schedule. So they got Mississippi next week. And then, the SEC is going to be a gauntlet. And you hear them mess around. We hit Tennessee and LSU back to back. Now, you Martin, you said prime. Alabama is one of 24 Power 5 schools that have never had a black head coach. They've only had one black coordinator on the offensive side of the ball since 1996. So them boosters is going to really, really hold off on that for a minute. Like, if they're going to see, because you said Dabo, I think Dabo was cooked because I think he was exposed for his, political views, which hurts recruiting, just like Jay Norvell's hurting his recruiting because of things that he says. Now, if Nick Saban can't produce all these old school, get off my lawn statements he makes all the time, he gonna lose all these recruits, man. That got any sense on how this NFL landscape is going. That's why my Philadelphia Eagles just draft Georgia Bulldogs, because they got something going in Georgia. They figured the formula out, and they're taking all the recruits that Bama is not getting. And now Nick Saban now has to coach. He used to have the pick of the litter, and he didn't have to coach that well. He didn't have to have he didn't need a good quarterback back in the day. Now he needs all 11 guys on the offensive side of the ball to be dudes, and he's not going to be able to recruit that dude because like people like Dion and, all these top recruiters is getting these guys and producing NFL talent. Jalen Hurts wouldn't have been NFL talent if he never left Bama until he went to Oklahoma and learned how to play that different style. Same thing happened with Baker Mayfield. Same thing happened with Kyler Murray. They went out there and put up 500 yards a game. Even look at DJ in Oregon State.
Yeah.
Even the ACC get up underneath Dabo and that negative culture that got down there.
Yep.
And now he's having a good time. He's having fun again. So I think of the old, the good old boys, Saban, Dabo, all them guys. Now Smart got the formula. It's a change, like you said. The times has changed, man. So he got to make the bowl championship series, or them boosters going to be in his head. But I don't think they're going to hire Dion no matter what. Yeah, Dion going to Florida State in about 5 years, I think.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I do want to touch on something real quick. Like with Colorado going into the Pac-12, Big 12 next year, and with the transfer portal, and we talk about guys leaving, that's going to be right there, a lot of attraction, because even Travis Etienne already told his brother in Florida, like, hey, if it ain't working out, go play for Dion. So these guys is looking out for each other and say, hey, this is where you need to go. This is where you need to go. Like Miami picked up 2 major recruits this week, for 2025. You got to continue to, regardless what the season go on, you still got to recruit. It doesn't stop. You know what I'm saying? And when teams see you not playing well or you losing, then they gonna look at like, why do we need to go here? Georgia, like you said, Georgia is the king of the crop right now in the SEC. Then you got LSU right there, not far behind, Auburndale. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot, man. Nick Saban, he gonna have to have a playoff type year to make it in the college playoff, because honestly, it's going to be hard. They already got a loss. And if they lose a conference game, if they lose to LSU or Ole Miss or one of them, that's it for the season. Ain't no looking back. ain't no looking forward to try to make the playoffs. You're going to have to make a decent bowl game.
And we got my guy coming in the building, the new recruit for the College Football Morning Show. He's a BC fan. Boston College fan, aka the myth. Chris, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Man, good morning, Chris. How you feel, bro?
What's up,
I'm
Chris?
doing awesome. Good morning, man.
So, all right. Tell me how you feel, man, about Jalen Milroe gets benched after the whooping that the Longhorns put on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Tell me how you feel about them going to Tyler Buchner.
Tyler Buchner is a turnover machine. Anytime he's one of those high volume quarterbacks. He throws the ball a lot. He's gonna throw over 35 times a game, but he's gonna throw. If he throws 3 touchdowns, he's gonna give you 3 interceptions. Last year in the bowl game against
South Carolina,
3 interceptions. Like, that's great that you threw 6 touchdowns, but the interceptions, like, especially in the SEC, that's not going to win you games. Today is a great opportunity for him to get settled in against a South Florida team that's rebuilding. Now, do I think South Florida can hang with Bama? Yes and no. South Florida has a freshman quarterback starting who I'm really high on. He can run, he can pass. He played great against the debut in Western Kentucky. I believe he had 3 total touchdowns, over 200 yards in total. So it's going to be an interesting game. I'm interested to see the tempo in which they run their offense. It's going to be a fun game to watch for sure.
Gotcha.
What's the point spread?
33 and a half last time I checked.
33 and a half?
Yes.
Give me South Florida.
Uh-oh.
They're gonna lose by 28. You're asking the backup quarterback to come in here and put up 50. Hey, man, my son's team is San Jose State, and they had SC beating them by 31. I said, give me San Jose State. And guess what? We lost by 28.
Yep.
You give me my $2, brother.
Hey, y'all got $2 bet on the line.
Hey, I don't mess around. Hey, I was collecting yesterday. I was collecting on my Cowboys bets. I said the Eagles gonna beat, the Eagles gonna win, the Eagles gonna do this. My Cowboy homeboy like, man, here your funky $2. I said, why gotta be a funky $2?
I know firsthand about them $2 bets from last year. So
you got another one in your mind?
Yeah, man. I'm staying away from AC this year with them $2 bets.
It doesn't change, bro. You can Venmo, Cash App, or pay me in dimes. I don't care. Give me my bread.
So we got Beantown Breakdown in the chat. Got my boy Mo in the chat. Sajin in the chat. Key in the chat. Shout out to y'all. Mike in the chat. How you guys doing? So we got another name. We got another quarterback that's starting. That's just been named the starting quarterback no more than a day ago. Kyle McCord is now officially the starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Give me a reaction on this one.
It's Ohio State, man. Go ahead, Chris. You go ahead, brother.
Man, I never thought there was a competition from the beginning. A lot of this is leverage in today's era with the transfer portal, so guys don't leave. They don't want Devin Brown to leave. They believe in Devin Brown's potential, just not now. I knew Kyle McCord would, I guess, take that starting job. It took him a little while than I would hope, but today is a big test for them. I'm excited to see, because Austin Reed, the quarterback for Western Kentucky, is a ball player. So I'm excited to see how he performs.
And it's Ohio State.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, it ain't the place for quarterbacks to really it's a 20-man type of thing. Like, it's everybody but the quarterback is probably, what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, something about Ohio State and Alabama quarterbacks. It ain't nothing for me to really care too much about. It ain't about that. It's usually about the tailback, the defense, a couple of receivers. They got the best receiver in the country, but who's going to throw him the football? I could throw him the football and he's going to get it. Like, I can go out there and throw left-handed, he's going to get that ball. Yeah. Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably the best pound-for-pound receiver I've seen in like 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this dude is just straight up truth. So all you got to do is put it in his area. You can get you some numbers. So if I'm a quarterback coming off the bench and it's on me That's where I'm going. I mean, forget the system, like the rhythm. I have to have my read here, read here, read here. Nah, bro, where's 18? And who's guarding them? If it ain't two people, we going that route. So, it's interesting to see coaching moves like this, but I just think it's just something for us to talk about. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Can a kid not turn the ball over? And can a guy manage the game? And can his teammates ride for him? And that's kind of where you're trying to find. I think the same thing we're seeing in Alabama. Maybe the locker room is not vibing with that first cat. And the next cat come in, you see how the team responds to him. That's a big part of it. It's the juice. Who has the juice with the fellow teammates? It's the other guys in the locker room. Are they vibing with that kid? And that's what the coach is looking for. They walk through the locker room. They walk around trying to see who vibing with who. Is he going to be that kind of guy, and he's going to get the energy from his teammates? And then they had them little meetings off to the side. Hey man, y'all like this kid? And it'd be just that simple. No, I don't like him, man. He a weirdo. And they go with somebody else, man. So sometimes it's that fickle, man. So we'll see how they play. Again, it's very early in the season. I won't put too much on it. Let's see who pans out after game 5 or 6.
Well, McCord got one job, and that's fine, number 18. But go ahead, Martin.
I mean,
it ain't rocket science.
I mean, like AC said, you could go in there. I could go in there blindfolded, man, and just start slinging the ball. Like Joey will be at the free throw, just shooting free throws with his eyes closed. Just all you got to do, just wherever Marvin Harrison lined up, you drop back that side, turn slightly, just throw it in his direction. He gonna get it. I think Chris said something pretty good that I want to touch on, and we just touched on it early. It's all about the transfer portal. It's all about the opportunity right now, because if you bench a quarterback and he feels some type of way, let's go back a couple of years with Spencer Rattler and what's the name over there? Spencer Rattler got benched. He was playing bad, and Caleb Williams came in and did his thing, took his job, and ran him out over there to South Carolina. Well, South Carolina ain't got no quarterbacks anyway. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, brother-in-law, but, that's the fact. But them guys if these quarterbacks come in and they do well, you know what's going to happen. Those quarterbacks is going to leave. Same thing with DJ with Clemson. He left, into a better situation. So sometimes it could be a gift and a curse.
What's good? Cool. Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
So it could be a gift and a curse where these guys get benched. They might not like in the system. They can't flourish the way they think they can, and they go somewhere and we like, wow, these guys here play totally different. So we have seen that carousel around college football for the last few years down the line. So. But at the same time, the guys that replacing them, they're gonna have the pressure now. They got to perform. They got to be the ones that with the microscope. If I mess up, I could get benched again. So it's what it is, man. It's like AC said, it's a business, man.
Got you. So they played a close game in Indiana. They had a game last week, which was pretty okay with it. So do you think Chris started down with you? Give me your gut feeling on them. How big of a chance you give them to beat Michigan, or this is Michigan by a landslide, the way you look at Ohio State?
Not at all, honestly. I think Ohio State's they don't have the offensive consistency to be successful against a team like Michigan. They just don't. Michigan's firing on all cylinders despite not having their head coach and offensive coordinator. I know people will say, oh, it's like non-conference game, they're easy. But still, I mean, that other team is putting on the pads and playing football too. So, they're performing at that level. J.J. McCarthy, well, he hasn't been throwing like 3-4 touchdowns a game. He's been consistent. He's moving the ball downfield. The running back room they have at Michigan, I mean, they don't need anything else except that running back room. You have Blake Corum and Donovan Williams. So I'm really confident Michigan beating Ohio State this year.
AC?
Hey, I agree. Michigan is pounding the football, and until we see otherwise, I think it's going to be a little streak starting with Michigan over Ohio State. But then again, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if this quarterback they're inserting is the guy? We will have. I mean, it's going to be a good game, but with that offensive line in Michigan, I mean, without their head coach, they still look pretty impressive. I got the maize and blue. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't really know anything yet. I haven't even seen the complete game from Ohio State. I've only seen highlights. So until I analyze that, as far as the big heavies are concerned, if they really got the dudes in the trenches, if they're going to be able to handle a Michigan team that's as loaded as they are with NFL talent on both sides of the ball in the trenches. So right now, I just think it's too early to determine. It's going to be another battle, but I think Michigan pulls it out.
Mark?
Yeah, I'm maize and blue all day. I like Alabama. I don't like Ohio State either.
He don't like him.
I don't like him.
Evaluate the talent. No, I don't like him.
I don't like him.
I don't care what they rank.
All jokes aside, though, my Ohio State quarterbacks never fare well. You see C.J. Stroud, he's struggling now in the NFL, which is suspected, but while they always give out wide receivers, a little bit running backs, but and good defensive linemen and stuff like that. But nevertheless, to see them going against Michigan this year, Michigan is like they really came into. They kind of like did that Georgia thing, sat back a little bit, got what they needed, and turned it on. So I definitely could see, Michigan notching on three straight wins against them because they have that momentum right now by beating them the last 2 times. Ohio State looks like now, and then we don't because if Ohio State does lose to Michigan this year, then we're gonna have a conversation about day. How long he's gonna keep his job there. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the matchup that make or break your job. You could beat everybody else in the Big Ten, but if you do not beat Ohio State or you do not beat Michigan, then your job gets in serious jeopardy. So, but I mean, Ohio State should win today, as expected. But Penn State's playing well. That's gonna come up soon. So we're gonna see.
Gotcha. So we got Jay Norvell comments about Deion Sanders. Seemed like it was a little personal comment. Look at AC already. So go ahead, AC. I'm gonna go start with you. AC.
I was listening to Sports Talk Radio this morning, man, and they were focusing on the fact that he said glasses and hat. I said that ain't got nothing to do with how they said how I was raised. When you talking about somebody's mama, when that's I don't think I know Jay Norvell might be. Is he a quarter black? He almost black. He's kind of but he's not really. So
10%.
When you say I wasn't raised like that, that's fighting talk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't talk about nobody's how they were raised,
right?
Like it's not a direct attack on his family. Like, I wasn't raised like that. You might as well just said your mama didn't raise you right. You might as well have said your mama was a crackhead and she didn't. You raised yourself. You were raised by wolves. Your house was in turmoil. Your daddy wasn't there. Your mama was a crackhead. You might as well have said, and that's what we take. This kind of like Michael Jordan said. He said hi to me wrong. I took that personal. He said, my mom didn't raise me like that. Had nothing to do with the sunglasses in the hood. I was raised better. Meaning I got more class. I got more respect. You don't have no respect. You ain't got no class. You're ignorant. You're ghetto. He said all those things in that one little statement. My mama raised me better than that. 50 burger, 50-0. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. What you got there? What you got, Martin the King?
All right, hold on, because I'm about to cut up real quick.
Oh Lord!
I'm about to cut
Will
up.
someone tell you wasn't raised right, Martin?
Hold on, give me 1 second.
It's fighting words. You just get your.
Go ahead, Chris. Get it out, Chris.
Man, so where I come from, right? I come from a really interesting town in Massachusetts, man. So we live next to a city,
Yeah.
man. And if you step on the wrong block, man, it's not gonna be fun. Jay Norvell, he stepped on the wrong block. You can't, like you said, you can't be talking about someone's family like that. And also, you're talking about another grown man and trying to tell him what to do. Like, you shouldn't be doing that, especially the Coach Prime. Colorado State has proven nothing, and they've only made it harder for themselves. I have no respect for what he said. I think he's a good coach, don't get me wrong. I think he's rebuilding that program. If you look at the transfer portal, how successful they were, they're extremely successful in recruiting. But that's going to make a lot of recruits. You would be surprised how many recruits would, decide the other way and be like, I don't know if I want to play for this guy after the beating he's about to take.
Yeah, he would have met. Yeah, Jay Norvell would have I would have met him in the parking lot. I would have met him as soon as I would have met him in the parking lot. Oh, y'all see AC and Martin got the glasses and the hat on. Oh, go ahead and get out, Martin. Go ahead and get out.
I read that bull jump, and I was like, I'm trying to have a good practice, do what I was supposed to do, be a good father, good coach, be the best coach I could be. But why? Why? I'm going to say this. If nobody believes, and I want y'all to say along with me, if nobody believes that the Saturday football show is the best show on streaming right now, then it's personal. It's personal. You know what I'm saying? Man, let me tell you something. He might as well go ahead and quit at halftime because it's about to be ugly.
He backpedaling, man. You hear him this morning? I try and motivate my kids. You just lost half the locker room.
You lost your kids. I will be surprised after they get beat so bad today that half of them go in the transfer portal at halftime. You know what I'm saying? Because why would you poke the bear? Dion. My thing is this: if me and AC coaching against each other, and he got a good squad, and he getting the limelight, I'm gonna be out like, look. I come out, I say, hey, it benefits both of us. We both African American coaches. It's going to help our ball club. I might, I ain't gonna say on TV that I might could learn something. I might call Dion after the game after I get big. Hey, how you go about doing this? But I'm saying that, you could show some kind of camaraderie. We seen it in Jackson State last year after the game. These guys. My thing is that. Instead of, taking shots in the media, and getting laughs and giggles, but then you're going to be the laughing stock at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? Because you are the one that put your foot in the mouth. You know what happened. Nobody thought Dion was going to beat TCU. Okay, he beat them. Nobody said that. Then Matt Rule came out. You know what I'm saying? Had to show him what's up. Now, Colorado State. And like Chris said, not saying they play a bad team, but their first game, they did got 54 points put on them, So,
we might see the first 100-point game in a minute. It might be 85-3. Like, it might be skunk rule Saturday night. Like, was this game always Saturday night? Like, it just seems like a setup.
Right. The last game. I don't really have too much words about Mr. Norvell, Jay Norvell, and I think it looked like he was trying to be funny, but
no, he was dead serious, man.
I'm gonna be sitting back throughout the day, and when that game come on, I'm gonna light him up on Twitter.
It might be the first 75-point spread ever. Like,
yeah, because we know Dion persona. We know how he is. People, he's like he said. I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to make you uncomfortable because we're doing something that has never been done. and I'm sure a lot of coaches in the college right now looking at how Deion moves and trying to take a little bit from him. They're not saying it publicly, but they looking at it and saying, well, you know what? Hey, I could probably learn something, but I'm not going to give him credit to think he got me, changing my program a little bit, the way he's swagging out and all of that stuff. He's popping up there, and then like you say, AC, you don't bring nobody's mama into it. That's number. You ever been in a fight on the schoolyard?
Oh,
and
yeah.
they say slap, and the guy in the middle be a meat grader. They say slap your hand, and you slap that hand, and he hit you. And then he slapped the other guy's hand, and then all of a sudden y'all stop fighting. That's fighting words. You don't bring nobody's mama into that situation, man. You just don't do that. You could have talked about his coaching. You could have talked about how his team really ain't that good. Then that's different. But when you bring somebody has their own way or own technique, how they do stuff, because it ain't the traditional way like they expect it, then there's a problem. But guess what? You got a real problem on your hand because it's personal.
Real. Hey, let me chime back in, man. I don't think that Jay Norvell knows the long-term implications of what he said. Not only is he going to get his butt whooped tonight, but he just kind of canceled himself out of the recruiting process for a lot of inner city kids. When you say something like I was raised different than that, that means you don't have no type of temperature or connection to the inner city kid. And that them fighting words is mama, sister, grandma. You can talk about my daddy a little bit. It ain't that bad. Talk about my pops and then we'll be fighting. But you talk about mama and how she raised you, her character as a woman of God, as a good woman of the community, and you're going to raise her saying she didn't tell you to take your hat off and your glasses off and you talk to grown folks. And then talking to grown folks. And I'm just kind of like, now, what Kirby Smart has done to Nick Saban as far as taking all his recruits. You thinking about Colorado State didn't have a chance to get the kids that Colorado's going to get. Deion's whole thing has been recruiting. I'm not hard to find. I want dogs. I want NFL talent. We're going to get you to be a man. We're going to train you how to be respectful. We're going to teach you how to get that money. They got their hashtags on the back of their jerseys at practice. I mean, he's setting these boys up for long-time success. Yeah. These vanilla, old school, get off my lawn coaches are being squeezed out. They're not going to get any of these recruits. So what he said just distanced himself even that further away from any kid from Compton, from Baton Rouge, from Miami, North Central, any of these places that have these kids who are being raised by their mama in the hood that can run a 4.3, jump 40 inches and catch and throw. You're not going to get them kids now because now you've let us know that you're not one of us. Deion is one of us, and that's where kids going to want to go. Problem is he ain't got but 100 spots on the team. So everybody can't play at Colorado. Who's going to be the next? Who's going to follow suit? Eddie George? Like any of these coaches that see?
Oh yeah.
If you tap into the kids of today, and you tap into what they're trying to be, but you still have some type of structure, that's the new magic, recipe. And Deion has tapped into it. Now, if these guys are going to try to demean Deion for what the kids like, you're not going to get those athletes. You're going to get you a few kids who some Trump supporter type kids, they're going to come over, we don't like Deion. Deion is a Hollywood charlatan. But that's what Hollywood is, man. This is entertainment. So, I feel sorry for Jay Norvell at this point. You just lost your next recruiting class for the next 3 years.
100%. And I just want to add one thing, Jay Norvell with the head coach of Nevada, when one of my dogs went there to play quarterback. And, you might be wondering who, Malik Henry from Last Chance U. That's one of my guys. He went to Nevada. Jay Norvell didn't even give him a chance. He kicked him off the team 2 weeks without even trying to work with him or anything. He told me all that. And I was like, man, that really shows who Jay Norvell is. So, if he's going to act like that towards quarterbacks and look at some of the guys he is starting, over his career, there's a reason. There's a reason for everything.
And Malik Henry is a perfect person for Colorado, where he can be himself. You saw Malik Henry. He went to my high school, Long Beach Poly, for his last year. And I knew what type of kid he was. And I'm like, it's going to take a special coach to corral him and get him to be productive. And that's a perfect example, Chris. I'm glad you brought that up.
And another example too is that I heard Randy Moss name ringing out there too. For the Virginia, around West Virginia area and stuff, because there was nothing but great praise about him, how he is and how he's connected and how low grounded he is and stuff like that. So
he got to coach first though, because Deion coached Pee Wee. He was like us, Coach Dante. We coached Pee Wee first, high school next, then you go to college and struggle a little bit, get some success, and now you do something. You can't just jump on. Randy Moss' name is big, but he ain't coached nobody.
I agree. But so
take a small job. Take a small job first.
I'll tell you this. I'm gonna be looking at the transfer portal at halftime.
Hey, anybody want to take that $2 bet for AC on AC? What, $2 bet on tonight on the spread?
I don't want to play for no thug coach and his gangster recruit. Man. Hey, you let Shador go top 5. Let Travis Hunter go top 5. It don't matter. They go into the pros. That's what Georgia's doing.
Yeah.
Draft picks. The Philadelphia Bulldogs is proof of that.
That's hey, you got the Philadelphia Bulldogs and you got the Washington Crimson Tide.
You making pros?
Hey, bro, that may very much happen. Hey, he might meet him at midfield. He try to get it one. They try to get it one good time, huh?
He gonna give him a T-shirt. Do you believe?
All right, so we got the Joe Milton era in Tennessee. Is this where Joe Milton era ends tonight in Florida? In Florida, they will be playing the Florida Gators inside Florida. Joe Milton, it's been a big buzz about Joe Milton, and I know I'm hearing some rumblings about his NFL draft stock, but right now it's too early to be thinking about that. We got to play it out through the season, but. Is the Joe Milton era beginning, or will it end tonight? Martin, go ahead.
Well, I ain't watched too much of Tennessee, and I know I watched the Florida when they lost to Utah the first game of the season. I haven't watched Tennessee too much, so I really can't comment too much on it. But I did pick Tennessee to beat Florida, so. Because Florida don't look too great. Now, Florida has had a number, throughout the years here and there. But I just think, I want to see what Tennessee does. They had that little signature win last year against Alabama. So the main thing, I want to see them be able to win another big game, a meaningful game, So, I mean, like I said, hopefully, if there's an era to be started, then it should start this game, get that win, and then move forward. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I did pick them to win over Florida Day.
If Jay Norvell was to come near me, or if I was Deion, I'll slap him right there. I'll take a fine for that in the spin. I'll take that. I'll give him a 2-piece real quick. Putting in my hand.
Without the biscuit.
I think he's gonna shake Deion's hand and apologize and say, "Man, I hope you didn't take it the wrong way." He'll just say, "Look at the scoreboard, brother. I took it the right way." Good luck to you the rest of the season. I think Deion's gonna do the right thing. He's not gonna act crazy, but I think Jay Norvell right now is like, "Dang, I messed up recruiting." Like, I know we're gonna get this whooping tonight, but I'm trying to get my recruits back, and keep my kids that's on my team from going in the transfer portal. Because them kids know what's happening.
Yep. All you can think about is how the whooping gonna hurt tonight. That's all it is.
Everybody hurt.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, I mean, I agree with you guys. Like, he put himself in a trap. But one more thing I do want to add about that is Colorado State is starting a freshman at quarterback. They made a change earlier this week. His name is Brandon Flowers Nicolosi. He's super young. He played all right against Washington State. They got the doors beat off of them. Like, if you're getting destroyed by Washington State, what do you think is going to happen against Colorado? I'm convinced that Las Vegas hates Colorado. The over-under for their team total is 42 points. You're telling me they're not going to score 42 points against Colorado State's horrendous secondary. I mean, people can argue that Colorado's offense is better than Washington State. So I think there's a lot of politics in that building. But we were talking about Joe Milton in Tennessee. Joe Milton has played really good football. 66% completion rate, 429 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. So, I mean, turnover-free ball. His QBR is a little concerning. It's a little low than I would like it to be. It's 84th right now in the country. So, I guess overall, I mean, as long as he doesn't turn over the ball, I'm interested in Florida cover the spread. The spread for the state is 5.5. Can they do it in the swamp? That defensive line for Florida is one of, if not the worst Power 5 defensive lines I've in all my years of watching college football. It's horrible. They have someone on that team, number 34. He is unbelievably horrendous. I think his name is Prince something. So bad. But
tell us how you really feel.
He said Prince something.
He said, take his scholarship. Yeah. Take it away.
Honestly, man. I mean, he deserves to be starting at some Division III. Not even that. He's so bad. But I'm interested to see can Florida quarterback Graham Mertz put together a good performance, and I'm not sold on Graham Mertz at all. So
hey, I'm looking at Joe Milton, brother, 30 years old, man. How long have you been in college?
Oh,
I mean,
my God.
I know you're transfer, man, but if you said it's the beginning of an era, this is it.
He transferred on top of transfer.
I mean, if this don't work out, he might as well put on the coach's outfit because he's gonna be on the staff. Because I mean, he's had some unfortunate injuries. And like Chris said, he's had some good percentages, but accuracy is not his strong point. He could throw the ball a mile, but I believe he's just being the beneficiary of a great scheme and wide open receivers. We'll see once the season goes on when he gets against better defensive backs and a defensive line in his face, how he performs. My hope is, well, I ain't going to say that. I don't want to see nobody lose their job. But when it comes to football and family and friends, my buddy Nico is the backup quarterback. So we just waiting. He's getting $8 million in NIL, and he's the truth. Kid out here went to Long Beach Poly for his first couple of years. COVID hit, transferred to Warren High School, and he ends up out there singing what's the song called, the Honky Tonk or the Rocky Top song, and they treated him like a king, and he's out there waiting for his turn. So as soon as Joe Milton has a little bit of the diversity or adversity, I'd like to see Nico hop in there. I'm not gonna mess and disrespect him his last name. I am a Baba. I am a Leva. I keep saying it wrong. It's not as hard as the other hard name, DJ Uwagalele. But you know what I'm talking about. Nico and DJ, two West Coast kids that I know are out here balling at quarterback. But, Joe Milton, the floor is yours, old school. But you got a short leash, man. Because if they don't win, they're number 11. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you try to factor that in. Where they're going to be at the end if they win out. Would they be in the Bowl Championship Series? It'll be interesting to see. They got enough teams on their schedule to creep up in there if they go undefeated. But that's still a hard task in the SEC.
I'm very familiar with Nico. I mean, he has 8 siblings, I think. He's a big family man. The only thing about him is he going to be able, like you said, to handle the pressure and also like you said, he was treated like a king. I know people who know Nico, and they say his attitude toward the end of his senior year was kind of questionable. So I'm hoping that he can kind of reestablish himself at Tennessee. So.
It's funny because, man of faith, my scripture today is humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life. So all these recruits, no matter how many stars you got, when you get to the big bowl, the big fish tank, you ain't no longer the big fish. It's about 4 dudes in your room that was big time wherever they came from. So a lot of these kids are getting some humble pie real quick. I think Nico and his dad, they all know how this works. Yes, he had some questionable things going on. When he went to Long Beach Poly after the pandemic and they said he can't wear number 8, he went back to his high school because he could wear number 8. I was like, over a number? Okay. So
when he missed the Elite 11 to go to the volleyball tournament, that was another one.
Well, I wasn't even mad at that because you're only a kid for a little bit longer and you're going to play football the rest of your life. I got football. I don't have volleyball. This is it. And these new kids love volleyball. It's something about volleyball. These kids love it. I mean, I've seen some kids that were linemen skipping spring ball to go play volleyball. And I'm like, you barely play. Why aren't you at a spring ball? Man, volleyball. And I'm like, you ain't even built for volleyball. You 300 pounds. He's like, yeah, but I love playing. And I'm like, okay. So it's something about it, man. So I just let him have it. So when Nico said he ain't playing in the 11 on 11 or 7-on-7, what is 7-on-7? Some people put too much weight on 7-on-7. It's not even real football. It's just skills. It's skills training and sharpening skills. Unless it's a Tennessee organized event, what's it for? So I wasn't that mad at that. I was more mad at the fact that he wouldn't transfer back to my alma mater, Long Beach Poly, and play, and help us win the championship. Instead, he went back to Warren because he couldn't get the number he wanted. Because Austin was a young kid. Our cornerback was a 5-star as well, and he had number 8, and he wasn't coming off number 8. I was like, it's something as fickle as a jersey number will cause a kid to stay away from, going to his alma mater. So it was difficult, man. But, it is what it is. Don't get too mad about it. It happens, man. All right. I think we lost Coach Dante, man.
Yeah.
Let's go. So our next, let's see what I think I have on the rundown of our topics right here. It looks like, so we're going from the Joe Milton era begins. Can Michigan State pass rush get to Penix at UW? Is that today?
Yeah.
Michigan State plays against, but Michigan State is in turmoil. Head coach just got fired.
Yeah.
How y'all feel about Mel Tucker losing his job for questionable activity on the phone?
Well, man, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, all
right, listen to the story, man. Does it make sense to you? I said on my show last week, smells like a setup to me.
Yeah.
They didn't want to pay that man.
I believe so too. And they just announced this morning that whatever the guy name, he's going to be the intern and everything right now. And we all know how it is when it comes down to money, and they're gonna find a way to not pay you or draw up some kind of accusations to get you out of there. So now, how he handles it or what he's going to do about it. He could take the route. He could take the, he could. I don't know if he could sue or whatever. Well, what's that one coach? Oh gosh, he just got let go, and he's supposed to be suing them. I can't remember his name because that was one of the top stories.
What school was it?
Oh, I'm trying to think. It was one of the Power 5 schools. I can't remember, man.
Art Briles. I thought something about that.
Well, them boys did that.
I know it's not
them Baylor. The boys at Baylor.
Yeah, but I think it's somebody. It's somebody else, and I can't remember because it's like about a month ago. Oh man, I cannot remember. Man,
so was he successful in getting his name cleared up?
No. I know they let him go over some accusations, and then apparently he was supposed to take them to court over because they I believe they said that what he did was on warrant or whatever the case might be. But nevertheless, with the guy at Michigan State, I just found it funny that, the season started, all of this come out, and then, you probably up for extension or make more money. And then they felt like, you know what, hey, let's find a way to cut back, while saying we cutting back, you know what I'm saying? So we fired the obvious choice, we always the obvious choice, you know what I'm saying, of getting fired. So.
Or Martin, what you said earlier, they're trying to free up some cap space for somebody in Colorado. We don't like this dude. we want that dude.
Yeah, let's see if we could get him.
70 because it says $70 million. $70 million for old cantankerous, old mean old bruh. You seen Mel Tucker? He looked like he could spit like all the time, like he just looked mean and rough and tough, and he was Big Ten, and I think they just kind of like, man, do we want this guy around? He's abrasive.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't getting some of the recruits we thought he was gonna get. How do we get up out of here? Well, have him hire the young lady who's speaking about, domestic violence and rape and all this stuff. Have her come talk to the team, and have her come on to him, flirt with him, start a relationship with him, and then record him being inappropriate, and then we can void out the contract. You think she'll go for it? How much we paying her? Oh yeah, she'll go for it.
Yeah, no, I believe that. I mean, and I just want to point out something, right? I tell this to all my young folks, man, and old folks too, man. Like, keep your hands out of your pants. Not that difficult. I mean, especially when you're at a higher position like that. You know how people are. You know how society is. Society loves to create narratives. The world we live in, they love to portray certain people as certain things because it's all about the media, right? The media makes money off of these type of stories. That's the way it works. But I just want to know why this wasn't reported sooner. If this was some, happened 13 months ago, why all of a sudden is it coming up now? It doesn't really make sense to me. There's obviously personal agenda with her, because by the way, I do want to point this out. Her story about her getting raped or whatever was never proven in court. The person who she accused of raping her was never convicted. The case was actually thrown out by the Supreme Court.
Wow.
So, and she made a living off of public speaking and everything. Wow. So I don't really have respect for that at all. I mean, you can't tell me that's a survivor if that wasn't proven. You know what I mean? That's kind of crazy. And I'm not saying that it didn't happen, because it's a horrible thing that happens every day to millions of women around the world. But for you to go out and make a career off of something that was never proven, that says a lot to me.
That's suspect. That's real suspect, because there are women who actually have been raped and don't get a dime. And she out here making that Ime Udoka money off this. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ime Udoka got fired and banished for a consensual encounter. And this man is on the phone with old girl, a consensual phone conversation that we will never get privy to hear. So I'm just like, hey man, something ain't right. But in this country, the bros are guilty until proven innocent. And if we can get out of this contract null and void, easy money, man. So I'm like, man, show me some proof.
Exactly.
And it's such a delicate. I mean, you can't even, like Chris said, you can't afford to even have the appearance of dirt today. You got to stay so squeaky clean, man, because you got to be Obama clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be involved with nothing. I take the doors off. Take the doors off all my rooms. I don't want no doors locking around me. When I was a teacher back in the day, and when I was teaching high school, I'd be like, you can't come see me by yourself. Bring your friend. Because I'm not going to be the one. They be like, oh, Mr. Cobb. No, bring your friend. I don't sit in the room with no one young lady on my watch. Because then I don't want nobody saying, oh, she was in there by herself for a long time. I got a policy.
I mean, I completely agree with that. And one thing I can add, so, I have a nurse that comes with me to school. He does some medical treatments, whatever. He decides to sit outside the room because he's like, if a kid tries to talk to him and be whatever, he's like, I'm not talking to any kid, anything. So he'll put in his headphones, be by himself. He's like, I'm not about to be, framed as something, or, whatever. And I'm like, I don't blame you, because anyone can say anything. There's videos of me online that I would never speak about, but no one knows the context to it, right? So people can frame me. People have, told me all this stuff. Oh, you're this, oh, you're that. I'm like, but you don't understand the context behind the video. You just see the video. And so this is what they're doing to Mel Tucker. I mean, I'm in full support of Mel Tucker. I hope he gets a job back because he's a good football coach. And yeah,
I wouldn't go back to Michigan State.
No, definitely I wouldn't.
Yeah,
they've already made their point. Like, we don't want you, because otherwise they would have rolled for him and said, we're going to suspend him until we figure out what's happening. Talking about he's been relieved of his duties immediately. You're not going to find out if this lady's lying. You're not going to do no investigation.
Same thing with Michael Irvin. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm glad Michael Irvin got his name clear.
Yeah, I'm glad he got his name clear, because it's like any little detail, any little negative impact, especially us in the media, it comes out like the whole sky comes down on us, and then it is an uphill battle to get your name clear. And the good thing, Michael Irvin stuck to his guns, bleeded himself, and got his name clear, because statements like that could end a person's career as fast as they get it. And you don't know how these people out here moving, especially with the ADs and all of that stuff, who they know, who they could pay off, and who they can say, well, I don't want this person as my coach. I can't just outright fire him. So let me hire somebody to get in his pocket or get close to him or do some finagling stuff. Then I can have all the valid reason. And then let's just put out a report and say, well, hey, you know what? We're going to do an investigation, but we're going to leave you your duties until then. When they relieve you of your duties until further investigation, you're fired. There ain't no coming back. You know what I'm saying? Good thing. Like when you brought up Ime Udoka, I mean, the New Jersey Nets wanted him, but that was too close to being in the same conference with Boston. So they wasn't gonna have that. So they were like, you know what? Hey, just wait till a better opportunity comes. So he over there in Houston. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's crazy. Same thing with the Today Show.
Well, shoot, it was like a whole entertainment industry roundtable. Anybody that's ever had any type of misconduct, anybody that's ever said, "Hey, you doing it today," they was firing cats. I was working at Fox Sports 1, and before I'm looking up, we had Chris Carter, Gary Payton. Who else was up in there? Was it McNabb? It was a bunch of guys that was just coming on the show from time to time. And as soon as somebody cat called one of the young ladies, everybody was gone, because it was like, now we got to clear anybody that might have had any appropriate conduct conversation. Like, you can't even like compliment anybody anymore because it might be taken the wrong way. So it's very delicate, especially if you're a millionaire. If you have a millionaire, you have a name that they can profit off of. You have to be very, very squeaky clean these days, man. It's really sad, but everybody's out here trying to get money, and everybody knows there are bundles of money sitting in all these major corporations, even in the school districts. When I was working with risk management, they got $5 million sitting in a kitty just in case a lawsuit presents itself, so they can settle out of court. If anything ever happened inappropriate, anything ever happened that might be questionable, they got money sitting there. And what's happening is these lawyers know that. And if you have anything that you think might be inappropriate, come let us know. We'll get that money. Because even if you don't have a true case, that money is there to make sure the story goes away. Yeah. So it's a very, very delicate spot. Like, I know Biggie and them said it, more money, more problems. That's one of the problems, because now you're a target. And you know that them lawyers said this is easier to go away if you just pay it. Like Deshaun Watson trying to say he was innocent the whole time. I'm sure his attorneys are like, man, just say you did it so we can get on with our lives. No, I didn't do nothing wrong. Everybody I messed with wanted to be messed with. They wanted that extra money. I said, I'm paying this much money. If you do the freaky sneaky, I'll pay you this much more money. I don't really want to do it, but I need to pay for my college tuition. Whatever happened. Bill Cosby, Deshaun Watson, all these guys are getting caught up in these little, cases, and nobody was raped. Everybody got paid, and it was like, but you still got to come off that money, and your character takes a hit. It's a very delicate time we live in, and these guys got to be very, very careful, man.
Exactly, and if you're like, and what you hit it right on the nail. If you're a politician, right? Why did no one say? Why does the media not talk about politicians? Why are guys like Jim Jordan from Ohio walking around? I mean, he's been accused of everything in the book, but no one talks about it. But if it's an athlete, if it's sports, and my theory has always been the media likes covering stuff that makes sports teams or sports coaches or anyone involved in sports bad, because sports takes away viewership from big news corporations, because that's what people want to watch. They don't want to watch some guy sitting around talking about what he thinks or whatever. No, they want to come together. And so it's all about coming together and not being divided. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Come back to money, like Martin said. It's about that money, man. It's like long bread. Who's getting the viewership? Deion hogging up all the viewership, all the radio waves, all the internet, all the memes, all the social media. Deion got it on lock, and everybody's mad.
Must-see TV is turning to must-see Deion.
Must-see social media. I mean, everywhere we look. All right, man. I think it's time for us to hit these games and our prediction. I'm running through. So, real quick, FSU, BC.
Ooh, Chris, that's you.
That's you, Chris, all day, BC.
So, man,
yeah, the pause.
if I had a car, which I don't, I would have drove to this game.
26 points.
Hill, man, Chestnut Hill is going to be bopping. It's going to be crazy. I mean, it's today's the red bandana day, so it's extra motivation. Students are going to come out. I think FSU is just such a good team, and they're going to be too much for BC. Although I think BC will cover the spread. I think it'll be a lot closer. BC's quarterback Taylor Castellanos is from Georgia. I believe he played in 7A, which is the highest level of competition in Georgia. So he's really suited for this opportunity. He has 5 touchdowns, 1 interception on the season. So it'll be a lot closer than people expect, for sure.
What you got, Martin? Quick.
Well, when these matchups in the ACC stop playing, some of these games do tend to be a little closer than normal. BC always played Florida State, Clemson. They always played them tough, no matter how BC season goes. But Florida State looks like they're on a whole nother level right now. And I don't think it's going to be as bad, but like Chris said, I think BC will cover the spread, but I think Florida State is just going to be too much, especially on defense for BC to handle.
Who did BC lose to? They lost a game to Northern Illinois. Is it NIU, Northern Illinois? The Huskies?
I believe so.
Yeah, this is gonna be ugly, fellas. I got Florida by 30. Florida State by 30 over BC's. I know you Miami Hurricane, Martin. You don't like to hear that, but Florida State. Sorry, Chris. I got Florida State by 30. And we got Penn State versus Illinois. This would be a tough one. Go ahead, Martin.
Oh, Penn State and Illinois. Ooh.
Illinois.
At Illinois. Well, Illinois beat them a couple of years ago. So I don't know if they're gonna beat them this year, because I think Penn State, like I said, everybody picked Penn State to really be that team, that TCU team this year. Still waiting to see what Illinois does. I mean, not Illinois, but Penn State does. So I've been watching them closely. So I don't think this is going to be an upset. I think Penn State, they'll take care of business in this one. I don't see Illinois really beating them. I mean, it's a 14-point swing. So could Illinois cover the spread? I don't know. But I think.
All right, so that's what we're going to go through. All these games. They cover spread or not? Because it's like we all going to pick Penn State. Chris, you picking Penn State?
100%.
All right. Are they going to beat them by 14? That's the question. Real quick. Yes or no? They going to beat them by 14?
No.
Chris says it's going to be closer. So you're taking Illinois?
Yes.
What you got, Martin?
I'm going with Penn State, but like I said, I don't think they're going. 14 is a lot. I mean,
that's what I'm asking. We ain't saying it's going to be an upset, but we want to know how they're going to beat them. Is it going to be a Big Ten battle, struggle in the trenches, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, or is it going to be is Penn State for real? They're going to win by 14.
I think it's be close, but Penn State gets to win.
So you pick Illinois.
Yep.
All right. Say it with your chest, man. I'm gonna write it down. I ain't betting $2, but but you gotta say it with your chest, man. All right, so we got FSU, we got Penn State, and you said they not gonna win by 14. So you got Illinois, and Chris got Illinois. That is gonna be close. I got Penn State by 21. All right, here we go. LSU, Mississippi State. LSU by 9. Who we got? It's at Mississippi. It's not LSU. It's big. It's a big situation.
I actually already put $45 down on Mississippi State. Oh yeah, I'm going hard on this one. Mississippi State plus 9.5 any day.
Whoa! They pretty good this year too.
Yeah,
and then they beat somebody of quality last week. Mississippi State beat last week. They beat somebody.
They beat
Arizona. Oh, in overtime. The first game didn't count. Was at Selma. They beat by 48-7. But Arizona's a good team. You might have. Let me see. What did he say? He said easily within 9. Ooh, who you got, Morton?
Oh man, I think Chris sold me on that because LSU don't look. I mean, everybody's hyping LSU up, saying, well, after that loss against Florida State, they're still a good team. Well, they have today to show that, but I'm taking Mississippi State.
Ooh. You got Mississippi State. I'm going LSU. I got the Bayou. I got Jaden Daniels and the Bayou Tigers going to get back on track against Mississippi State at Mississippi State this morning at 9. So we get off this show and we'll grab me a donut and some coffee and sit down and watch some football. Kansas State, Missouri. Number 15, Kansas State at Missouri. They got Kansas State by 3.5.
I think that'll be more. I think Kansas State could win by 10 over Missouri.
Who you got, Chris?
If I knew it was going to be at Missouri, I would have bet Missouri plus 3.5. So that's when I'm going. I think Missouri has a good defense.
You got Mizzou. We got Weber State at Utah. Oh boy, that might get ugly. You got FCS versus SBS. They didn't give me a spread. It's just straight up.
That's what I looked at too. I'm like, they even put this on there.
Vegas ain't gambling on it, so I think we just all gonna go Utah, huh?
Yeah.
I'll go Utah, but I do want to say one thing. Weber State is 2-0 this year, and their running game is actually pretty decent.
Who they beat? I need to see who they beat. They could be playing
against Iowa, who's not really great, but the running back did have 22 carries, 144 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So if they can establish the running game, slows things down. Hey, but Cookman covered the spread, so I'll be anyone at this point with the spread over 40. I'm taking any day of the week.
It's hard to win by 40.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we got Notre Dame, and who is CMU? Central Michigan by 34 points. What you say, Chris? That's too much? 34 points?
I like CMU. Their quarterback, Emmanuel Jr., he's a very interesting prospect. He's huge. He's a great runner. They're covering the spread. Plus 34.
34 points is a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot, man.
It's at Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's kind of.
And they're on the Peacock, not NBC.
Yeah.
National.
Oh man.
What have Notre Dame been?
Yeah.
Let me see what they've done so far. 42, 56, 45. They putting up some points. They put up 45 on NC State. They put 56 on Eddie George.
Yeah, I think I'm going with Notre Dame.
They're gonna cover the spread, 34 points.
Yeah, they're gonna cover that.
All right, you got CMU, Chris. All right, yes. All right. We got receipts for next week. All right, all right. So we got South Carolina against Georgia. Oh boy.
I just got some breaking news actually like 5 minutes ago that Georgia number 1 cornerback is out with an injury and the wide receiver 3 is questionable. So with that said, South Carolina's offensive line is terrible, but I still think South Carolina is good enough to hang in the game and Yeah, I think South Carolina. They're going to cover the spread. Georgia will win the game, though.
Spencer Rattler at quarterback, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not even taking a chance on that.
Last chance you. What are you gonna do? Let me see. Last chance you. Then putting up. Nah. It's gonna be a bloodbath. I agree with Chris here. I believe. Well, did you say South Carolina is gonna be close?
Yeah,
it's closer than 27. Yes. I got Georgia by 30. Give me Georgia.
Yeah, I'm taking Georgia too. I don't see it.
All right, we got Bama, UCF, a game we spoke about earlier. Bama versus USF at USF by 34 points. Bama.
No, USF is going to cover the spread. USF's quarterback can run, and running slows down the game. So but Alabama will win.
Good point.
By 21.
By 24?
Yeah.
Not 34. What you got, Martin?
Yeah, I'm taking UCF to cover the spread.
USF. I'm gonna go. Let's see, at South Florida, and Bama has a quarterback change. I'm with y'all. USF. We're going to Florida. We're gonna cover that spread. San Diego State, Oregon State. Oregon State by 24.5. At Oregon State, very tough place to play.
Oh yeah, no, Oregon State, 100% by 24.5.
Oregon State, easy.
Yeah, or easy down the line.
They're gonna win by 30.
Yeah.
Let's see, because San Diego State played UCLA last week, and they weren't very San Diego State like. Oklahoma, Tulsa. At Tulsa.
At Tulsa.
28 points.
Really? I did not realize it was at Tulsa. Still, I got Oklahoma 28 points.
Yeah, I got Oklahoma too. It's gonna be a toss-up.
Let me make sure I'm reading these right. The team on the bottom is the home team. I'm making sure real quick. Hold on. Yeah, it's right. Because UCLA plays North Carolina Central. Let's go. So we all got Oklahoma to cover?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. 28 points. They're going to smash. Minnesota, North Carolina. North Carolina by 7. Here we go. A tight game. At North Carolina.
Well, this was my upset pick on my show last night, and I'm sticking to it.
Minnesota?
I'm taking Minnesota to cover the spread and to win the game.
Ooh. Well, I guess for 7 points, you got to kind of go. What you got there, Chris?
Minnesota. I got Minnesota too. North Carolina didn't look all that great against Appalachian State, so I got.
We had Appalachian State as a team you never want to play. Don't sleep on them. So I'm gonna go ahead and North Carolina. I think the Appalachian State is always an anomaly. Every time they play somebody, it's gonna be some type of big drama. They do it again. They've upset the world again. Northwestern, Duke. And Duke is by 17. It's at Duke. Duke. Who did Duke beat? Duke beat a bad Clemson team, right?
Yeah, they beat a.
But I will say Northwestern is starting a quarterback named Ben Bryant. He's a transfer from Cincinnati. He's all right. He's nothing special, but I don't think he's good enough to. I think Duke is going to win the game.
But it's by 17, though.
By 17, yeah.
Okay. So Chris said Duke. You got Duke by 17, Group Martin?
No.
That's a lot of points.
Yeah, that's a lot of points for Duke. I think I'm going to take Northwestern to cover.
Let's see how many points Duke scored this year on the opponents. I know they put hands on Clemson. Almost got Dabo fired.
They scored 42 against Lafayette. They scored 28 against Clemson. So,
they can score a little bit. And the defense is only giving up 7 points a game. It's very, very possible. Yeah. I might be underestimating them, but I just don't like. I'm not like you, Martin. I don't like Duke from basketball. I don't like Duke. So I'm gonna go Northwestern. Give me Northwestern to see what happens.
No, but Northwestern, they play people pretty tough. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what their team look like.
They used to be real tough.
Yeah. So I think they're gonna give Duke a good game. So
All right, we got Iowa, and who is Western? Is it Western Mexico? Was it
Michigan?
Western Michigan, the brown
Yeah.
horse? Yeah, Western Michigan. Iowa by 28. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of points right there. For our team that is not known to, be a juggernaut like that.
Give me Western Michigan.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm gonna take Western Michigan.
What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, Western Michigan for sure. Iowa not that great and on offense.
28 points. Okay, we got Western Kentucky versus Ohio State. 2-0 teams at Ohio State. 30 points for Ohio State.
I gotta say, former guy of mine is a wide receivers coach at Western Kentucky, so I gotta go Western Kentucky. I love the quarterback Austin Reed. Division II transfer from the great West Florida. I'm gonna go, Western Kentucky.
Yeah, Western Kentucky beat USF 41-24, and they scored 52 last week. I'm not sure who HCU is, but yeah, they're putting up some points, and the spread is 30. I think they can score 20 on Ohio State. No, 14. But is Ohio State going to score 45 points? 30 points is a lot of points, man.
Yeah, and that is a lot of points. I'm gonna go with Western Michigan. I just don't.
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky, my bad.
Yeah, it's OSU, Western Kentucky. All right, I'm going Western Kentucky too. I don't like Ohio State like that. UW, Washington versus Michigan State. Spoke on there a little bit earlier. They on the Peacock. They got Washington by 16.5. Michigan State, no coach. Are they going to play for the coach's honor? They're going to play hard? Are they going to tank it? And it's at Michigan State. Sparty going to be out.
Actually, this is a good future Big Ten matchup, you know what I'm saying, for next year. So with me, I'm gonna go with Washington. I think they'll cover the spread. They'll get the 16.
16.
I think Michigan State gonna be a little too depressed a little bit.
A little bit in limbo.
Yeah.
Can they get to the quarterback? Give me UW. What you got, Chris? UW by 16.5.
Yeah. I think
Same. That's 7. You can get 17 points.
Yeah.
Washington State University, Northern Colorado. No spread. Washington State all day.
Yeah, Washington State is one of the other surprising teams in the pack. Yeah. They has been playing. They've been playing really good, and that's going to be a pretty good game when it comes down the line between Colorado and them. So that's going to be interesting, especially if Washington State continues to win and improve throughout the season. So so I'm gonna take them. I used to be a West Coast guy, in the UW Nation up there in Seattle. So I paid attention to them a little bit. But yeah, that's Washington State's game all day. No line, so I won't be surprised at the score.
Same thing, UCLA, North Carolina. Well, now North Carolina Central was the national champs of HBCUs, right? Last year, being it was the MEAC and SWAC. But I still think UCLA is way too much in the trenches. They got the skill guys probably match up decently, but the trenches is where the difference is between, FBS and FCS schools. That's usually the difference is the hogs, the big heavies inside.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Florida. 5.5 points. Tennessee.
Well, I already told y'all earlier, I'm taking Tennessee, so yeah.
What you got, Chris?
It's difficult. The swamp is electric, but I got Tennessee.
5 points. Touchdown. Yeah. Give me Tennessee. All right. Michigan versus Bowling Green. 40.5. Ooh, that's a lot of points.
But I think Michigan can do it, though.
40 points.
I think they could do it. I think I don't. Bowling Green
at the big house. At the big house.
That's gonna be ugly.
Oh, 40.
That's about to be ugly.
They gave her 40 points. Like Bowling Green ain't got no recruits. They ain't got nobody 3-star above. 40, man. Ah, man, that's tough. What you got, Chris? Michigan by 40.5.
No,
That's too much. That's too much.
No, way too much. Way too much. I don't think I think these line makers sometimes think they're gonna just be like 1-2 play drives. Like, are they playing a 50-yard field, or are they playing? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Bowling Green, let's go. Let's go, BG. At the big house. I just need you to score 20 points. Let's go. Mississippi versus Georgia Tech. They got Mississippi by 16.
Let me see. Let me see who Georgia Tech beat.
Ole Miss. Never liked Ole Miss. I'm going Georgia Tech just on the strength. On the strength, I don't like Ole Miss.
I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech to cover because they have been putting up some points the last two. I mean, they put up 34 with Louisville the first game, and then the 48 against South Carolina State. So, I mean, I think 16 points. I think the game would be a little bit closer.
All right.
Yeah. Though Georgia Haynes King has been playing good enough to cover that spread. So yeah.
All right. UT versus Wyoming.
Oh, UT.
Texas by 30.
Yeah.
Texas. UT all the way.
Texas wins by 30. And Oregon versus Hawaii, 38 points.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. With that run and shoot offense that Hawaii is going, Hawaii's quarterback is number 1 in the country in passing yards. Yeah, no. Hawaii's covering that spread.
Yeah, this could be another it could be with the way Hawaii is set up with their offense. This could be give Oregon a little bit difficulty because they could be looking ahead to next week, the showdown in Eugene with Colorado, and Texas Tech gave them all they could handle last week. So yeah, I believe Hawaii is going to cover that spread.
And last but certainly not least, Colorado State, Colorado by negative 23.5.
Put 50 on that.
I got Colorado by 40.
Yeah, I got them right at about 40, 45. But Dion might put them at 70. Man.
Now, I like, do they score? Does Colorado State score, even cross the 50?
I know this is gonna sound wild to some people, but Deion Sanders is a literal god. He is God walking on earth. What that man has been able to do to all the places he's been is, I don't think any other human, like any other world leader in the entire universe, can do what Deion Sanders. Man, Deion 2028, man, sign me up. I mean, I just
for president.
But really,
you know how wild that would be.
I would vote for him without a doubt.
For real.
Honestly, at this point, I mean, he's probably the best option. But I think that Deion is gonna show the world like that Colorado over 42 points, and they're covering the spread. See you all the way.
Somebody told me at work, said, if you was in a coma, Deion could talk you out of a coma.
Hey, Prime can sell ice to an Eskimo, man. Hey, Prime can sell water to a fish. He got the world around his finger right now, and I'm not mad at it, man. I think that's it for our show, fellas. Saturday morning football show, college football show has been a wrap. Appreciate Coach Dante for coming on. I believe he had to tip out. He wasn't feeling so good, so we appreciate him hanging there as long as he could. That's Martin Luther the King. Where can we find you at, brother?
You can find me on YouTube at Livewire Sports Media, Instagram, Livewire Sports, Twitter, Livewire Sports. You can catch me here every Saturday with Chris, AC, and Coach Dante for College Football Saturday Showdown. Also on Mondays, you can catch me for my Washington Commander live stream, The Aftermath, and my Miami Hurricanes show, Canes on the Daily. So on Tuesdays. So therefore, that's all my outlets you can catch me at.
Appreciate you, brother. Chris, where can we find you at, man?
Shady Sports Network, YouTube, my Twitter, just my name. Same with my Facebook. We might be starting a basketball show with everyone on screen here, so I'm excited about that.
Yes,
and
sir.
I might need to start putting my betting picks out there. I don't know, man. I'm pretty good, man. I think I'm Vegas's worst nightmare. You know, I'm just saying, man. So come find me, show love, and just enjoy football today.
Hey, all Vegas, right, Vegas heard you say that, and Vegas is just like this. Come on,
right?
Bet against the house. We dare you.
And then Dave Chappelle did that with that Charlie Murphy script.
Oh yeah,
James,
come on. You think you can bet? That's what they all do. The betting guy's like, oh, we got us one. He thinks he's smart. And he said, AC said he ain't betting more than $2. We don't want him. I said, nah, bro. I ain't never betting more than the per diem. And then $2 of my own money, never that. Hey, man, I'm AC, man. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and I'll be joining the NGBN TV network on the 26th of September, man. So I'm pretty pumped about that. But AC Sports Live in the 1585 show. We're just trying to see where we can get that platform going. So, hey, man, just keep plugging away, y'all. And once again, my scripture for the day for all those who think they got it going on, by humility and the fear of the Lord are riches. So Prime started off humble beginnings. And guess what he got? The world in the palm of his hand. Hey, man, y'all enjoy Football Saturday. We'll see y'all next time, man. Peace out.
Peace out.